everything I say is not to advocate or try to skew you to my idealisms. It's only to tell you the common sense truth of what life is. Common sense. This is because I feel like we have lost all common sense. As humanity has lost all common sense. I believe we lost all common sense. All of it. I just said I wasn't black, right?
Right.
And if I said this on the blogs, I said I'm an Israelite, right? If I said this on the blogs, people would constantly say, oh, Brandon T. Jackson said he's not black. Why did he say that, right? Let's get to the core. Where's the land of black?
Kemet.
No. Fuck that.
He's black.
No.
He's land of.
I got you.
Let me
I got
go
you.
and talk your
I got
shit.
you. No, I got you. I didn't say Kemet. Where's the land of black? You should be a Kemite.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit.
Where is the land of black? Where's Blackington? Where's the currency in Black? And who's the king of Blackington?
Talk your shit.
So why are we in a nation saying we're something that with no core origin of it? And that's my problem with everything. No one has a core origin of anything and know it.
Yes, sir.
And then we
Yes.
want to come up and have all this mess at us, and we're fighting narratives that was left from our ancestors that we don't even agree with. Who agreed that we're black? Who agreed that we African American? Who agreed that we Kemites?
Yes.
Because I'm saying I'm a Shemite. So now we arguing over what we are. This is the constant issue I have with our people in America and all over, and the media saying, the black people did this. Okay, so what's the difference between, okay, what identify you as black? I need to know. Is it your color?
Because this ain't black.
No, I know, but is it your color right now?
I guess, yeah.
I know Indians darker than you. So are they not black?
Yeah, it's all a social construct.
I know, but I'm saying, what's black?
It's relative.
That keeps you in slavery, right? By calling yourself black?
I'm saying, what is it? I'm not going to make a definitive.
It ain't nothing. It's death.
But what is white?
It ain't nothing.
Irish.
What is yellow?
No, I'm going to give you what white is. You ready? They have the privilege to be Irish, Italian, Jewish.
Yeah.
We can go, what else? Give me some. Scottish.
I was about to say Arabic.
Yeah. We don't have the right to be Ethiopian, Israelite,
Lights. Indian.
Israelites,
Native
Indigenous,
American.
Native
Yeah.
American.
Yeah.
You're
We gotta
just
be black. You know, but
okay,
listen,
I see what you're
But what
saying
he trying to
now. I
say
see what
is
you're saying
all them
now.
things like Israelites, Indians, and all that have a nation
You
behind.
can't be both.
Black doesn't have a
I
nation.
understand what you're saying. You
I get
can't
what
be
you
both.
saying.
Now we're talking.
I
Now
understand
we're
what you're
talking.
Black don't
You
have a
can't
nation
be a, you
behind.
can't be a
black
black
na-
Native American. You can't be a black. If you black, you black, and then if you something else, you something
No,
else.
you can't. You cannot have a nation,
You don't have a
based
nation.
off of a color. Because everybody in Kemet, as you said, was black, right? But they were different tribes. You had Shemitic tribes and Kemetic tribes. The Shemitic tribes believe in what? God is the Almighty, and there's other gods beside him. I mean, there's other gods that's around, but he's the Almighty God. Kemetian ideology goes to there are many gods, and I am God, and I have manifestation in this realm. That's where the Christ consciousness and all this stuff comes from, is the manifestation of Egypt. But then there was the Hebrews that said, we don't believe in that. We have a God of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Who's, I know not this God. That was the arguments. It was a cipher, nigga. It was no color argument. It was Cushitic people versus Shemitic people. And it was about the ideologies of life, not about your color in ancient times. It was never about this new color stuff happened when the Romans and the Greeks and the other people start coming in and all that. That's when it became separated of color, when all that stuff started happening, they started getting civilization. And 1000 BCE is around the kingdom of David, right? That was the early Bronze Age. So when the Shemitic people had their own kingdom, was around the kingdom of David and all the lines of the kings with Hezekiah, all the lines of the sons and seeds of David. See, we don't talk about this.
Hell no, we don't.
Because that's a nation.
It is.
That's a nation with a king, a senate, the 24 elders, a judicial order, the prophets, a legislative order, the Levites, the priest. Where's that at?
That shit deep, bro. Bro, yes. Yes.
Welcome back to the show.
Yes. Yes.
So you can't be you can be black if you want, but that's not a nation.
Yes.
Yes, indeed, powerful people. This is another episode of Breaking the Machine. I'm your host, Ahmad the Poet, alongside my partner, Spank the Bank.
Yes,
And today we'll be taking another incremental step in shifting the culture. Today we got brother Daweed in the show. We got brother Brandon T. Jackson.
Also known as Brandon T. Jackson.
Brandon T. Jackson in the building with us today. How you doing, my brother?
It's good.
Yeah,
And I don't even want to be the dude. I'm not the incense dude. My wife hates incense.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the dude. No
know what you mean,
problem
yeah.
if you burn, because everybody that burnt incense never got money. No offense. No offense. And I'm not trying to be mean. And I don't think money justifies you. I'm saying that a lot of talk happened with niggas with incense. And I'm saying that figuratively. There's nothing wrong with burning incense. I actually like incense, but I'm not the incense.
I burn my Egyptian musk. I
No, I said, but we all burn the like,
It's that idea, right?
it's we burning this stuff because we used to do this in our consciousness is coming back to who we are, but then it becomes this a club. And everybody, man, brother, I just feel like that the spirits and man, where's the nation at?
That's true, dog. Damn, dog. That's
'Cause
true.
President Vice President Burr shot Alexander Hamilton, Benjamin Franklin, and George Washington. Then they started a nation.
And we damn.
They wrote in. I was talking to a white guy the other day, and I was perplexed because he was upset because I wasn't happy about the way we're treated in this nation. In this nation. Okay? With the Declaration of Independence, with the Constitution. Somebody Google the definition of Constitution. I want to see something real quick because this is beautiful to me. The Constitution is, watch this.
It says, be a part of a whole, give legal constitutional
Legal.
form to an institution
Legal form.
established by law.
Law. Hold up. You was stuck in law. I ain't mad at it. I'm going to read the book. I'm not mad at it because there might be some great information in that. My issue is the title, not the laws that's in it. Okay. Here's where the problem lies in life. Declaration, legal, constitute, law. You see? What law do we agree on as men? And I told your brother, not your brother. I told this guy I was sitting at the bar with last night, and we was going back and forth about how I should be happy to be in America, right? So I'm just give you this. So I said when they was writing the Constitution Declaration, where were we? Was there a slave like put that on there? Make sure you write that now. Was there a slave in the room?
No.
Peeking over, right? I don't know. Was it?
No.
Did they say, hey,
What you niggas think?
Ezekiel, what do you think about this? I mean, it may happen. Who knows? He could have said freedom and justice and equality for all. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Fucking just write it down. We don't know. But we weren't included in the Constitution and Declaration of Independence and all that. We weren't included in it. Everybody deserved these rights. You know, hold on one second. Go get me the, wait, what? Their hypocrisy is being built from the core values of the country. You're saying everybody has rights, all humans have rights, and you have a slave behind you. That's the highest level of hypocrisy ever. So if we're going to admit that our nation is built on hypocrisy, let's just be honest and not try to act like everyone is made equal, because the problem is the ideology of everybody made equal sounds good on paper, but when you really look at it, one group will suppress the other group for their independence, for their declaration.
That's what war is about.
So if the LGBTQs plus says something against the Shemitic people that believe in the law of Moses, they're going to go back and forth with suppression. They're going to suppress each other because their thought ideologies are different.
And what's so crazy that you say that? They're building their own nation.
No, I'm not even mad at it.
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying,
cool about what the LGBTQ is doing, they said, I don't care if you're a L, a G, a B, Q, plus whatever y'all doing, we come all. Mm-hmm. All. What we're doing is like, hey man, you Muslim, I'm good. You Christian, I'm good. You an Israelite, I'm good, brother. You Canadian, I'm good, brother. There's no agreeables.
It's not. And why is that though?
Because honestly, from my declaration, I'm gonna say from my perspective, it was written and declared that this will happen. And anything, my theory is anything. See everybody manifestation. We manifest. Then why can't we manifest the nation? If we can manifest this gold and these cars and everything, why we can manifest float up in anything but a nation?
Because we want to talk to how to build a nation.
Yeah, we were.
Well,
we're not agreeing
to build.
We're not agreeing to.
I wanted to talk about that. We was talking about that before the cameras cut on, about the situation with the baby. And, you know, you did a...
Why get the mic to go up and down? Hold on, man. There we go. All right, we here. Y'all mics all perfectly beautiful. My mic going... y'all got an elevator on my mic. Y'all pushing the buttons. I'm going up and down. All right, listen.
But, you know, I just wanted to get your opinion on that whole situation that happened. Why do you think they can come together
This is the soundbite.
Like, why do you think they can come together for something like, you know, canceling when somebody has something negative to say about their community, but we can't come together just like they can? Like, they canceled the baby, but
because we're not agreeing on the law. You know, can I ask you a question? I was asking them in the car this. Who wrote the law that a man cannot sleep with a man? Who wrote that law? Don't say it.
Shit, I mean, the Bible.
No. Fuck that. Excuse my language, but fuck that. Who wrote it? See?
Jesus?
No. And this is my problem with heterosexual or even anybody. Forget who anybody that wants to say stand up for a community. Who gave the ideal that man cannot sleep with mankind?
nature.
No. Who wrote it down? From I'm just giving you.
Who wrote it or where the ideal came from?
Who wrote, arguably, that's been declared, he said the Bible. I'm saying that's a skewed thought because when you say the Bible, you got every religion using a code book of a declaration, of a constitution of a nation that's lost.
I mean, that makes sense, but when you ask where the idea came from, it's basically like art imitating nature. That idea came from nature.
I got you. We're gonna get to that, but I'm asking who wrote that law down?
Nobody did.
You know, they did. No one can tell you. And that's
Moses.
Moses wrote it down. Moses said, man shall not sleep with mankind. Moses said, he asked me, why did I say, well, the LGBTQ is anti-Semitic? Because it wasn't Jesus, it was Moses that said that. The Hebrews wrote that law. The Hebraic law is the closest law to nature from a heterosexual perspective. Y'all don't stand on that law. Y'all don't fight against anti-Semitism. Y'all fighting for black rights. I'm fighting for Hebrew rights.
I get it.
So what do you think about Black Lives Matter?
I get it.
He needs to hear that. He just hit him.
No. I get it.
You're fighting for black rights. I'm fighting for Hebraic rights. Because that's a nation.
And black is not a nation. So
Not
I
a
get what
nation.
you said.
So
I get what you said. My bad.
Except that black is not a nation.
nation.
There's no constitution. There's no law. There's no legislative. There's no judicial. There's no order
That's fact.
in that nation. But there's a Hebraic nation.
That's facts.
And those people that wrote that so happen to be melanated.
Facts.
So why aren't you guys standing on your law?
Facts.
Because the LGBTQ is, and you got to give them shout out for that. They're righteous I'm going to tell you why the righteous I mean by that. In the balancing of the scales of this realm, They have every right in America to express and declare what they humanly have to do in their decision making. Just like we have every right to stand on the law of Moses.
That's deep.
Y'all not standing on the law of Moses. Y'all standing on the law of Jesus. Forgive thy neighbor. Love thy hug. Kiss thy friend. And I'm trying to say, you're not standing on the Hebraic law because Jesus never wrote, don't. He said, let every man, no, Paul said that, let every man have his own wife.
Yeah.
Then Jesus said that, and that wasn't even his name, but I don't get to all that stuff. But what I'm saying, what the world know as Zeus or Jesus is, let every man have his own wife. And Jesus also said, it is written, let every man. Hold on, I should know this because I don't really study the New Testament that much right now. Because I'm on law and prophecy right now, so I kind of let me go here with it.
So basically,
I can't even remember it. I remember what Moses said. Hold on, let me give you this though. Jesus said that when a man leaves his father and cleave to his wife, that these two become one.
One, right.
That don't say nothing against homosexuality at all. Moses wrote the law against LGBTQs. That's a Hebraic law. And if you're not of the line of Shem, you have every right to be a homosexual because God never made a covenant with only the line of Shem.
Whoa.
He talking this shit.
No, I'm talking about what it says.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you what it says. I'm not an advocate for nothing. I'm just going with the data. That's my issue. We don't go with hard data anymore.
So what I'm getting from you is this great conversation. Black is not a nation.
Nope.
Israelites is a nation.
Israel's a nation.
Israel's a nation.
No, is the 12 tribes? No, 12 tribes is the nation in exile. But we have a template for a nation.
That shit deep. It's deep. It's like, man, that shit deep.
You have to go with your bloodline's nation.
Yeah.
So I want to get to your separation with Hollywood, not the art and film industry in itself, but just the Hollywood industry. When you first separated, did you feel like the black sheep, or did you feel like any level of anxiety in terms of, turning your back on your legacy? No. You said you were supposed to be the next Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, it was a progression. Once I understood who I was and understand that who I am as a man, I got anxiety when I found out our history and how we've been enslaved for over 7,000 years, and it keeps going on. It doesn't bother anybody that the ancient seal of Egypt is the same ancient seal of Rome, is the same ancient seal of America, is all that eagle, and then we was enslaved to all that.
Yeah, we still slaves, man.
That doesn't bother you? Like, how is it because we're reincarnated, we're regenerating the same. It's going in circles until we get this thing right.
It is.
You can't have the same seals. You can't have a nigga. You can't have a seal that we was in Egypt.
But it had to be a moment if you was playing the game, if you was in Hollywood and you was doing the movies and stuff. It had to be a moment that, because you had to care about it at one point. Like, what was that moment when you just didn't care about it anymore?
When I found out who we was as a people, and the day that I did, I went, wait a minute, this is all a scam. So I didn't lose a desire for it, the arts.
Not the art, yeah.
Cause I just produced a movie with me, Jeezy, and what's in that? Omar Gooden, myself, whatever. I'm still making films. Hollywood don't own movies. Tech companies own movies.
I have a question though.
That's my issue.
So
that's another nation banner. Hollywood is an entity.
It is.
So, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, I was seeing you on your Instagram page. You saying, you rusty. You think it's hard to be funny now because you know your true self?
Nah, I could be funny.
Well, no, I'm still funny, but is it hard to be like the goofy man? Because when I feel like for black people, well, not black people, I know.
Nah, I could be. You can land at a Cat Williams type style.
But what I'm
Chappelle's not really that good.
What I'm trying to say is like for right now, like it's a lot of comedians. Like that's like our get out there, make money.
Yeah.
But once you realize you know who you are, you be like, that's cool shit. I ain't trying to say cool shit, but like
if you're doing cool comedy, that's it's sometimes is needed for balance because some people need to see that to be to escape. you got to have some escapism. Some, not it should be a balance. So, I just choose if I have a perspective, and the people like it, and I can have fun with it. You just take your perspective and have fun with it, and throw a little ratchetness in there, throw a little coonery in there. I hate to say that because you gotta sometimes meet people where they at. You can't just come on there and being like,
Okay.
we're not a nation. Like,
Fuck he talking about.
yeah, I'm trying to laugh.
Yeah. That's the big part I think
I
people
still
don't
have
get.
jokes from when I was always had some sort of consciousness to me. Even with the rooftop scene on Lottery Ticket. I always had a consciousness to me, so it's like you just gotta just make it funny.
Talk about that, because you talked about that on Comedy Hype.
Yeah.
Basically saying that scene was basically the moment where people in the industry could really tell that you was deeper than meet the surface. Like he's a real dude. Like we gotta stop him. Like how did he get here? He's the one that we gonna get the keys to, and he got that in him. Like that scene really showed him. Like
Yeah, I didn't even know I had that in me. It was the spirit came over me. If you could see it, something came over me and just took my mouth and started speaking. That was an improv scene. That wasn't in the script. None of that. I'm bro, all that. No. And they like, what the fuck? Where's this at? And who wrote this? What's going on? Oh my god. I mean, I just feel like it was just a moment of the spirit coming over me, and it's in our DNA for that to happen. So they gotta make sure that you're in chains so that won't happen. It's like kind of like Get Out. Your spirit is coming out, and then you get sucked back into the sunken place. They need you in the sunken place because of I mean, do you really want a bunch of Negroes waking up? Honestly, if you're a governing structure, do you really want a bunch of niggas waking up? No. No.
Be fucking chaos for that.
No, and it shouldn't be actually chaos. It should just be order, actually. More so order if we really want to, but it's like control. So it's like, for me, I guess at the time, they're like, he don't know who he is, and we need to make sure that we get him in a sunken place before he finds out, before he regenerates, before he understands who he is from his past life. I think something like that. It's hard to explain. I think everybody in the higher ups believe. I think they actually know the real code of the realm, and they're back and they're doing their thing. That's why they're able to manipulate the system to keep control. And I believe that they saw something like, wait a minute, we don't know who this guy is. He don't know who he is, but he's something. Let's make sure we keep him. I knew they knew I was a Shemitic because you have to go against the law of the covenant.
What is Semitic for people that don't know?
But they know black.
Yeah.
Okay. White rabbi out of Europe. Rabbi de Eleazar, very famous rabbi. In a tradition according to both Shemites and descendants of Ham, Cush, were black. Cush is the son of Ham. This is the bloodline. Japheth being the only white son of Noah. And in rabbinic traditions as well, in the 8th century, circa Perka de Rabbi Eleazar. This is the thing. I got this in Hebrew too, but you're not going to understand it. Noah brought his sons and his grandsons and blessed them with their several settlements, and he gave them inheritance on all the earth. He especially blessed Shem. Get out of here, man. You keep calling me. Shem and his sons, black but comely. Means handsome. And he gave it an inhabitable earth. He blessed Ham and his sons, black like a raven. And he gave them an inheritance. It says nothing to do with religion. An inheritance. Everybody with a trust and a family. Inheritance.
Talk your shit, man.
Niggas always want to say religion. No. He gave them an inheritance. And in that inheritance of the coast of the sea. There go your Cush. Son of Cush. He gave them all Cush. There you go your Comedian. Freaking the Egyptian guys, pharaohs and all y'all niggas. Ham. That's our brother. But he's I'll give it to you. He had a certain inheritance, and it happened. He became a great king, great Egyptian, Cushites. And his sons were black like a raven. He gave them an inheritance, the coast of the sea. He blessed Japheth and his sons. They entirely white, and he gave them for inheritance the desert and the fields. These are the inheritance which endowed them. Okay. So some of that's arguable in certain people's minds, but what's not arguable is that the sons of Ham and the sons of Shem are black. According to rabbinic traditions, they circa Rabbi Eleazar. So when I say Cushites, that's our brother from Ham, but we're not Cushites. Some of us are here. Most Africans don't grow beards. They're Hamitic people. Shemitic Africans definitely grow beards, and they have hook-shaped skulls and woolly hair because they mix with the Canaanites, which are Cushite tribes. So you kind of got a conundrum here because arguing over bloodlines, you kind of just got to go with the bloodlines of the consistent data of the people that call themselves lines of Shem. They've been grouped in with people that are Africans also, or Cushites or Kemetic people, and they grouped us all together. Which, if you really want to be technical, the line of Shem, according to whatever, is still in effect today because it was an everlasting line that never could go away. Proving the data of what I'm saying now. So how you gonna prove that? Because I'm here 3,000 years later talking about the line. The data proves itself. I'm here with cameras and all this stuff, talking about this line. The Queen of England is talking about this line. What's the big deal about the line? It must be a big deal if it created societies, monarchs, democracies, or I should say republics. Created a template for a nation.
They did.
So
Is that too deep? Or because to me, this is common sense.
It's common sense,
no,
but a lot of people
it's
won't
new.
get it.
Yeah, it's new information for a lot of people.
It's a lot of new information.
It's much needed to be spread. But I also wanted to talk about something that you said on your Comedy Hype interview. You said that you only put on the dress for the money and to do a movie with Martin Lawrence. Yeah. Did Martin Lawrence ever give you any like advice about doing it, or tell you like possibly the effects of it, or was he just like? No. Could you move closer to my back?
No. What effects of what? You see
the stigma of it.
So you're asking me a question. Did Martin Lawrence come to me and say, was there any effects of? Would Martin Lawrence admit that there was an effect, or did he know there was any effects of it? I don't know. Yeah, that's the question. Martin's a Christian. So, God forgives, and you get back in the dress.
But your God, well,
the God of Israel just lets you walk away from it, and he gives you something else, better. Two different gods. My God that I know, my power, I didn't even say God, the power source that I rock with is a power source that lets you turn away from what you do. If it's not for you, everyone has a right to choose what's for them, and it restores you more and more and more, and gives you an inheritance like a father. That's what happens. He did the same thing with Moses. They did the same thing with David. He did the same thing with, it's a consistent data of what Ezekiel, he does this, he restores. He restored my soul. Lead me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I fear no evil, for you're with me. Why you think he's writing this? Half of the Psalms is just niggas coming against Dawid. Whole Psalms, these enemies, these governments, these kingdoms coming against me.
Do you think it's more people open to this enlightenment in the industry, but they, you know what I'm saying, they might come to you and salute you behind closed doors?
They'll salute you behind closed doors, and then they'll be like, "What's up, motherfucker? What's up, man? I love them, though. It's my brothers. I'm not gonna fault them. They're my brothers. You can't be self-righteous out here now either. You can't be the one that's like, you can't do the self-righteous thing. That's corny. I'm not even here to be a religion. I don't even believe in any religion.
Believe in kingdom.
I believe in the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in a nation. And I believe that we may not get to that time, but we might. At least people, it's record and data that was somebody that was remembering who we used to be. Everybody should watch. I said this earlier, The Hobbit.
Hobbit, yeah. I was just about to say that.
Every black person should watch The Hobbit with the dwarfs. That's all of us, by the way. You know, a nation lost, kicked out from their mountain, in exile, because they were idolaters of the gold and everything that God gave them, or everything that the mountain gave them, God, whatever. The mountain, Mount Sinai, right? So everything that the mountain gave them, they it became an idol to them. And then that great dragon came in and stole their mountain from them, and they had to go back and fight against the dragon and the orcs to get their mountain back and secure their mountain. But when they got back to the mountain, they began to idolize the gold again. I'm like, this is us. This is the whole Torah and Tanakh. This is the prophecies. You know, we lost our nation. We are a nation in exile.
Yeah.
We are idolaters of gold. That's why the first thing, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with wearing gold. I got gold on right now, right? There's nothing wrong with gold. I'm saying when it becomes an idol, notice our people always want to have gold chains. Mm-hmm. We want to have gold grills. That's our culture. That's who we always been. You look at Solomon, he had gold teeth. You know, you look at these ancient mummies, they had gold in their mouth. We just was like that. Like, we chilling with the gold. You know, some say that aliens make us mind gold, but that's a whole nother thing. If they do, then just let's all hang out.
If you could give your past self some advice, would you tell them not to go to Hollywood?
No.
Or would you still do it?
You have to. You can't.
To
It
understand
had
the
to be
journey.
done.
If I didn't go to Hollywood, I would have been a dude on the street that y'all wouldn't listen to.
Facts. Facts.
Y'all only listening to me because you like my movies.
Facts.
No one cares about what I got to say.
Hey, that's some real shit you just said.
So when I came in this time, the Almighty knew that the world would be filled with vanity, so he had to make me famous.
Now, how was the transitioning to Israelite? Because you grew up in the church, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, yes.
Because, you know, how was that transition?
My dad, I grew up in a Hebraic culture my whole life, though. Because if you study Christianity, they adopted the Hebraic.
Yeah, they do.
Well, some of it. They pick and choose some of it, but don't get me started with that. They adopted the Hebraic laws, and they turned it into a spiritual. I call it replacement theology. They took everything of the nation of Israel, and they kind of put it into a theology of a man. And they spoke the theology. That's spiritualism, which is very connected to ancient Egyptology without the law. So the spiritualism of what we have is not bad. It's like y'all want to float up. Y'all want to float up, but we don't have a nation to float. Like we can't. Like the Buddhists can float. They can Tibetan. They can float up because they in they thing. You can't float up because you got a guy about to give you a vaccine shot or whatever. You got Dr. Fauci coming on there every day. Wear your mask. Don't wear your mask. Wear your mask. You know, you got this guy coming out of the back.
You can't elevate if you constantly in a war. And that's what he's saying. They isolated so they can do that.
We can't elevate because we ain't a nation.
Well, if you just remember who you are, it starts. The elevation starts when you start to remember who you are. When you think of Israelite, you constantly think of a religion.
Right.
You know, it's like. And I feel like my brothers are starting a religion.
And not a kingdom. They're
They're not starting a kingdom.
And it's a difference.
And they think they are because they're preaching the Constitution of a lost nation. And it's I love my brothers, and I'm not here to fault them. I'm just giving you the pragmatic data, and they will disagree with me. Trust me. You want to talk to an Israelite, you're going to argue for 5 freaking years.
Yep.
Israelites argue all day. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I love you, brothers, but I'm not going to argue with you anymore. I'm not going to do it. They were, brother, did you understand? You got the orange on, brother. See, scriptures say orange. It's like, bro, then another dude gonna say something else that the scriptures say is different. And he gonna say something else that the scriptures say is different. All they do is arguing. It's just
Never make no progress.
Bible games, a bunch of arguing. This group don't like this group, that group don't, man, I ain't in none of that. If we can't agree on the kingdom of the Most High, then I don't know what we talking about. So anyways, my brothers out there, when I say I'm an Israelite, they immediately attach me to something that I don't
Associate with.
Yeah.
I don't sound associated. Those are my brothers, but I don't agree with that style of that style of explaining
Like martial arts, yeah.
Because the Most High, it's a kingdom. Like I feel like if you a king, I get what you're trying to say. If you a king, you walk like one, you move like one, you build one.
You build a kingdom.
You don't have time to preach to you. My actions let you follow what I do, and we go ahead and continue to
Well,
build.
they're preaching the constitution of a nation. Nothing wrong with that.
It's
Fully
right.
to go over the. Let me ask you a question. We live in a nation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you walk around with the constitution?
No, wish you should, but no.
Who's enforcing
Nobody.
the Hebrew law in America? Nobody.
Nobody.
Where's the Hebrew police? Hey man, you ain't got your ZG on. Ain't no damn Hebrew police. You got the Roman police. You can't enforce the Hebrew law in the nation that's not yours. This law is for Judea. This is the law for Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And they're not even enforcing that law over there. You want to get technical? They're not going on the law of Moses. That is the dream of everybody Hebrew, is to have a nation with all the 12 tribes and the law. Let me ask you a question. Do you know the story of the Bible? No one can tell me the story of the prophecies. Nobody. I mean, some Israelites can, because they argue that back and forth, but that's another story. But the pragmatic common sense of it, not the theology of it, just the common sense story. I just want to get to. I don't even care if you believe in the story. I don't care if you believe who came, who not came. I'm off that. If the spaceship's gonna come down and get us, if somebody will come out the sky, I honestly, I'm not gonna argue that anymore. Both ways, either way. I just want to know what is the actual story. Okay, I'm an actor. Steven Spielberg comes to me and say, "Hey, Brandon, I want you to play in the Bible. Okay, we're gonna do this thing about this. I need you to study it. All right, I'm gonna study it. That's how I did. That's what I did. That's how I did in my mind. I'm gonna say, you know what? Because I always say, if Steven Spielberg told me to study this book, I would study it. So I owe God enough, time to study this book. Because if Spielberg asked me and we doing a Black Bible movie, now I'll be. I have acting coaches. We have a whole team. So that's what I said to myself. So I read and I read and I read and I argued and I argued and I argued and I realized I got all the data and I realized that most people are full of shit because they don't even preach what this actual thing is saying. They're preaching theology of how you should live, which is nothing wrong with that, but they're not preaching the story of what's to come or what we're supposed to be doing or what are we supposed to be waiting on. Like we knew in The Hobbit that the dang dwarfs wanted the mountain back. That's the story. They want their mountain back. The dragon, they got to fight the dragon. What is the story of our people?
Yeah,
and what is
we
the
want?
prophecy?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this is the story of the Bible, by the way. This is the only story of the Bible. This is the only story of the Bible. There's nothing else. I don't care what anybody got to say. Don't give me anything else. Because it's in every prophecy. Or we got to throw the whole thing out. Either we're going to throw it all out or we're gonna go with it. We're at that place in humanity now. Give me the story of the Bible.
Man, I don't.
No, just give it to me.
I'm gonna say build the kingdom, build the nation.
Well, you said that because I just said.
No, but I already told you I already been on my type of journey, understanding that.
Okay, so what's the story?
To get my people out of bondage and then build a nation.
It's close. Okay, close. So God said to the Israelites that He's going to scatter them because they didn't do what He said to do in the land, and their generations and generations and generations will serve other gods
Yeah, well, I heard it.
of wood and stone that your fathers have not known. And you will be the lowest of the lowest people. But there will come a day Then I'm going to gather all the 12 tribes back to the land of their forefathers, and I'm going to set a king over these people, and I'm going to have 24 elders as kind of a senate, and the prophets and the Levitical priests will be restored, and there will be world peace on the land because Israel is back in the land and they have their king.
Right.
That's the story of the Bible. Nothing else. Nothing else. Then you go and say, okay, the Constitution, of course, once you get the nation how we live, we have a Constitution, we have a law. The Mosaic Law, we have a law. But then he said, I'm going to put this law in your heart, so you're not even going to have to, you're not even this time going to have to even do what Moses said like this. It's going to be in your hearts, and you're going to have a pure nation. And this whole nation will be the only thing that sanctifies earth. Everybody will do what they're going to do, but this nation right here will be sanctified unto the Creator. Set apart. So when you come to Jerusalem, you know, we ain't doing that. Because you might get struck by lightning, because it's the only place on earth. And he said all nations will come up to the Feast of the Tabernacles. If they don't, their nations will be cursed. This is what it says. I'm saying what it says.
Right.
This is the story of the Bible. Scattered kids, losing inheritance, God showing mercy on those kids and those bloodlines. They go back to this cosmic event, and he said, he put his name on it. He said, this is how you know that I'm God, because I've gathered all the tribes of Israel back to their land, and I set a king over them. And this is how you know I'm God. So either this God is lying, which I don't think he is,
Right.
or he's telling the truth. But that's the story that we're looking forward to.
Right. Now,
Keep the data right there.
is that in heaven or that's on earth?
See? There we go. Heaven and earth. What does that mean?
Well,
See, everybody want to float up. See, and that's the greatest scam.
yeah, that's why I'm just asking.
When we all get to heaven. And then, here you go. There's the scam.
Mm-hmm.
In the book, you got Jesus praying for heaven to come on earth. And you got niggas in church saying, float up in heaven. What the fuck? Excuse my language. I got to cuss on that. Why? This is my problem with religion. It contradicts itself to what is written. Either we going to heaven or we going to earth. Which one?
That's a good question.
I'm going to tell you what it is. Heaven and earth is supposed to be one. The seventh dimension, a higher dimension here. That's it. This is heaven. It's hell for us right now because we in exile.
Man.
But this is heaven. And if we don't get it right, you're going to come back again and try to make heaven again.
Because nature is heaven. Like, if you really pay attention to it, like, the gold is already here.
It's beautiful.
You know, but I ain't gonna, growing up, like, I was waiting to go to heaven to walk on the gold.
So go.
You know what I'm just saying?
Go
You know,
tell Singapore. Go tell Dubai. Go tell all these guys with gold that thus says the God of Israel to give us the gold to help us pave these streets. You want some gold streets? Help us build these gates.
So how do we awaken the young brothers in the hood? Like, have you ever gave that a little bit of thought?
No, they just got to know the story. What are we looking forward to?
You gotta read.
Because, you know what I'm saying, we work with a lot of these young inner city children, and they so deep in the mud, you know what I'm talking about?
Because they have nothing to look forward to.
That's facts.
They have no inheritance to even look forward to.
Nothing to build.
No, at least this gives you hope. It gives you an ideal,
An understanding.
an understanding of what we look for. What are we looking forward to?
But what's the first step? Because before we put things on them, we got to take that other stuff off of them.
Man, they got to just know, like, pragmatic data. Who signs your checks?
A white man.
What label? Who's on the face of the money?
A white man. Pink man.
I mean, even at that, is the Roman structure.
We don't have our own currency. I get what you're saying now.
There's no nation.
It's no nation. That's all it is.
It's that simple.
It's that simple. We don't own shit.
I'm just telling you what this says. I am not a preacher.
Facts.
I am not any religion, I'm not affiliated with any religious organization. I think they all are great reminders of what's to come, but I do not associate myself. I am a bloodline person that's waiting on inheritance from the Almighty. That's what I am. That's it.
Elevated Conversations.
Heritage.
Brandon T. Jackson. Breaking the Machine. That's a
Yeah.
wrap.
Yep, kingdom over everything. Kingdom over
That
everything.
shit was dope.